subject I'm covering today is how to successfully manage digital transformation for the AP process. So a few things. Has anybody ever heard of AP automation? Raise your hand, please. Nice. Is anybody using AP automation? Has anybody ever heard of Yooz before? We got two. I'll take it. I love it. I love it. Nice. So a little about me. I'm with Yooz. I've been there for about 4.5 years. My name is Jonathon Barnett. I'm a senior account executive there. So where I've helped a lot of clients through the 4.5 years and a lot of nonprofits as well. So trusted partners, right? You see this awesome man down below, Rob, with a great quote about, he's confident and Yooz will provide our customers with a worldwide class AP automation solution that fully integrates with our Sage solution. So one that without question supports our goals. So Yooz is a white glove tailor AP solution that really helps the customers and clients to their needs. So who are we, right? So we developed, so has anybody, another question, heard of OCR before? Yes, got a few hands. So optical character recognition. So we have something, so imagine that, so it basically reads a document, imagine that enhanced. So we have what's called smart data extraction. So we got that technology, we developed back in 2008, and we put it in the cloud in 2010. Since then, we've grown quite a bit. We have over 5,000 clients globally. One office in Dallas, Texas, that's where I'm from, and that does all of North America, and we have another office in Europe. So growing a lot, process millions of documents a year. So the quick agenda for today, so is digital transformation for AP complicated? Starting with something simple, what is AP automation, benefits of AP automation, and an overview of Yooz, and then at the end, we'll have questions and answers. So what do we mean by digital transformation? So, right, to change the way it operates the organization with technology across the board, right? So imagine changing your operation with technology and streamlining a lot of your processes. So is it complicated, which we've heard some good things and bad things, right? Maybe through some times, what Stephanie had mentioned earlier, but it does have an effect overall at the end. So let's kind of dive into that. There's not one fit solution for everything, right? You kind of have to piece it together, but when you automate it, it really helps and streamlines the business. So it's just not the technology that we're seeing. It's more acceptable and seeing benefits in the outcome rather than just the project. So steps. I want to start at the bottom here. So a lot of us, well, a lot of people here, and I won't have you raise your hand again, but you're probably manual process, right? So manual papers that are coming in, maybe either coming in and going to someone's desk, or maybe you've done emails, right? And so you've sent that email through to someone else, that invoice, and maybe we all get emails. Emails kind of getting forgotten a little bit. So, that's a lot of the manual, right? There's a lot of time behind that. So automating that process is our next step once you get past the manual. And then Stephanie showed a great example on the beach, which we don't want to see me on the beach, but working anywhere, right? Which would be really nice for most people. And then being more faster and more efficient to work overall. So leadership's expectations of success, right? So getting leadership to kind of buying in, managing leadership's expectation of a successful digital transformation. So we'll see a few things. So step one, determining the challenges to solve and the priority, right? So what challenges are we solving in your organization today in that AP process? And then injecting a digital transformation into the culture, right? The culture when everybody buys in, kind of is all involved and all on board with it. And then step three, start with the change that is fast, right? Visible and has immediate benefits for everybody too as well. And fourth, over-communicate successes and milestones. I know we had a few hands raised, but what is AP automation? So it's a use of technology to gain visibility and to automate the tasks such as invoice processing, vendor management, and payments, and improving efficiencies, cost savings, and more of a tighter data security as well. With a lot of great things, fraud protection, and catching duplicate payments, duplicate documents, things like that as well. We partnered with, we had a partner called Ardent Partners, and they did a study for us. So turning your cost center to a profit center. So start there at the top, right? So high processing costs, and some people can relate to this. 26% report higher invoice costs as a top challenge for them last year, right? And then I've seen this actually go be higher than this, but average cost to process a single invoice, $12.98. That has to do with maybe the late payments, making duplicate payments. There's just a lot of there. But I've also seen it as high as $18, but I've seen it as low as $7 and some change as well. And so below that, we've seen 52% of companies surveyed reports of the invoice payment taking too long. So we've all probably been there where, once again, that invoice or document's getting stuck on someone's desk or in someone's email and then just dragging down. So the average time to process an invoice is 14.4 days. I've actually seen this as high before COVID. I think the average was actually 28.6. So COVID's kind of helped a little bit because a lot more people are remote, things like that, and also digitizing a lot more too as well. But 62% of companies are having to pay late invoices as of last year. So, and I'm pretty sure everybody here has paid a late invoice or two in their day. So, and the main thing to automating, right? And so kind of back to everybody speaking earlier, no visibility, right? So we see that 31% of organizations say that they lack visibility in their AP process today. It's the top challenge. So client of ours, Five Guys, had a good thing. So he says, digital tools do not replace business expertise. So his good quote here was, it's human beings that make digital transformation possible, which is very true, right? Having the people in the seats to help process that. But, they recruit more on people skills and agility than on technical expertise. So a little overview of us. So a few things. If you're using Sage 300, any kind of Sage product, we can have, if you're using POs, that's great. We can have those come over, sit in our system. But if you need help with POs, right, and maybe you're doing those with Excel, you can do those inside of Yooz. If you don't use POs at all, that's not a problem either. So once it comes in through Capture, if you have an accounting email box, we can have that automatically come over. Paper copies, you can have those. You can take a picture on your cell phone, tablet, or scan those straight into the system. Multiple different ways right here in the Capture piece that we can help get those documents into the platform. So a few things that's different about us. We take any type of file. So an Excel document, Word document, TIFF, JPEG, you name it. We'll read that document, so there's no templates, no outsourcing. It's all done in 20 to 30 seconds. So if you use POs, imagine matching to a PO in 20 seconds, right, which is pretty cool. And then from there, it's going to come in and review. So we can just review the coding, see if any POs have been matched to, and then off to a workflow approval if you need one. So we have unlimited users inside of Yooz, so you can have 1, 2. I have a client that has 17 people approving one invoice, which is pretty crazy, but they wanted it, so that's what we do. So, and then over from there, we can send it straight over to the Sage ERP that you're using. If you need help with payments, we can also help with that too as well. Another thing I want to point out is above workflow, we'll see no touch. So imagine automating that process just a little bit. So the bills that are always coming in, they're always the same. Imagine coming in and just automatically skipping, going straight to approval, right? Or maybe it comes in and goes straight over to your ERP. It's called a no touch, right? So you can set up rules and parameters that really help streamline your organization. So here's actually example of a workflow. And so we'll see over here to the left, kind of like the no touch and then the other processes throughout. So we can create rules by project, by dimensions, by divisions, about 100 plus data points we can do. And then we'll see in the middle about conditions, gateways, things like that we can do by users, groups, roles. I will point out, though, that if you do come on with Yooz, everybody gets a dedicated implementation specialist. This person is with you from start to finish. And then once you're done with implementation, you have a dedicated customer support rep from there. So always with you from start to finish from there, which is really nice. So that smart data extraction that I was talking about, so it scanned the invoice, right? So on the far right over here, we'll see invoice number, but you see it in purple, and you see below that the invoice date in purple, the due date. It literally read it like a person would, and it put it over here to our header fields. So imagine it just automatically filling out these dates. All you do is just review it, and then you can send it on over from there. Memorize your GL coding here at the bottom. This is actually to a PO that it matched with, but imagine it being just a normal invoice as well. We also have a Google Light search function as well. So imagine typing in a single word like, I don't know, Calgary or Toronto or whatever you want to name it, type it in, and then it pulls everything. So we actually store your documents for up to 7 years. After the 7 years, you get the option to delete them. Usually most clients will keep them with us, but you can always search for them. And we can also give auditors also a login too as well, so that they can log in and just have a view-only access and pull reports from there too, so which is really nice. But the reports are right there. You can share reports. There's just a lot you can do with our reporting feature and super powerful. So I mentioned dedicated support once you come off implementation. A few other things we have. We have a chat feature that you see over here to the far right. On that chat feature, there's a few things you can talk to a live person. We also have a bot that can also talk with you too as well. And then we also have a help center at the top right where you can see a lot of trainings and webinars and things like that to also help you as well.